greatest wealth transfer in the history of mankind is happening right now, and this once-in-a-lifetime chance could help you ride the new world's economic shift and thrive, so long as you're on the right side of the system. Welcome to Luxo-Life, your partner toward personal growth and success. And today, we're going to show you the biggest opportunities this wealth transfer is about to give us in 2023 and beyond. How can you take advantage of these opportunities and make the most out of this worldwide wealth transfer, whether you're entitled to an inheritance or not? But before we begin, allow us to explain exactly what this great wealth transfer is, why it's happening, and why it's so important for those of you who haven't heard much about it before. First off, 3 types of wealth transfers have been observed since the opening of the second decade of the 21st century, and these are generational, geographical, and technological transfers. These 3 combined are what make up this era's great wealth transfer and would be responsible for the new world's economic trends. The first one, generational transfer, is literally the transfer of wealth from one generation to the other, such as baby boomer grandparents born between 1946 to 1964 passing on their estate and wealth to their adult children, Gen X, which is born between 1965 to 1976, and the millennials born between 1977 to 1995. From multiple accounts, an estimated $68 trillion is going into the hands of the new generations. According to a 2020 article from Yahoo Finance, the boomers apparently hold 57% of all wealth and assets in the U.S. economy, while millennials hold nearly 3% of the total wealth in the country. Imagine if, in the next decade or two, millennials and centennials would hold over 60% of the entire wealth of the economy. That's a total game changer. It's also true that millennials and some centennials earn more money today than most boomers did back in their day, but they're not keeping up with the wealth of their parents and grandparents, largely because of the dramatic changes in costs of living, college debt, and major fluctuations during inflations and recessions. So, the current economic standards we're living today are screwing up the younger generations. But of course, it doesn't have to be that way for everyone. As we said, despite the continuous rise in inflation and the upcoming downturns, there are a wealth of opportunities in every event, including this generational wealth transfer. But before we get into that, let's introduce the next 2 transfers. A geographical transfer is a transfer of money to a particular area, region, or country, like the US. Located in the US are the biggest tech companies in the world: Meta, Alphabet, and Tesla, and even Berkshire Hathaway and S&P 500. These companies hold some of the strongest stocks in the global market, which is why many people from all over the world invest in these companies. The more foreign investors wire money to buy US-based stocks, the more value the US accumulates. This is a prime example of geographical transfer, in which money from foreign countries is invested into one particular region of the globe. The last one, technological transfer, is a transfer from one technology to another, and the publication of that technology out into the marketplace and society. An example of this is how people went from using cash to credit cards, and credit cards to crypto. Modern art is now being sold as digital images worth tens of millions of dollars. News being spread via the internet and the World Wide Web instead of ink paper. Technology continues to prosper and replace the former mediums of money, art, communication, entertainment, and even work. Technology has always displaced workers by overtaking their jobs with 10 or even 20 times their efficiency, and sometimes at much lower costs and maintenance. Not just that, thanks to the internet that connects everyone in the world, companies can now easily hire a talented virtual assistant from any country who speaks English, uses a computer, and has some level of professionalism. What that means is geography is no longer a boundary, and a person in another country with much lower living costs can get high-paying jobs as you and get richer than you faster. As technology progresses, everyone is sure to be affected. From the Industrial Revolution to today, with all the available and cheap AI technology that could easily replace employees who require social care, living benefits, and raises, the technology transfer will be the strongest boost to the great wealth transfer, and also the one we should all be wary about. So now, what can you gain from this great wealth transfer? How can you take advantage of it? And what would it mean to you if you're not to receive an inheritance? Number 1. Get educated. Another 2020 article by Yahoo Finance indicates that only 16% of millennials in America passed as financially literate. Whether or not you consider yourself in that 16%, it's still a worrisome dilemma if more than half of the world's wealth is passed on to 84% of millennials considered financially illiterate. The good news is that percentage is increasing year by year since the pandemic, which made people realize their financial dispositions, prompting them to take necessary changes to support their financial well-being. So now is the time to hoard knowledge as to how to handle this great wealth once it's passed, or how to navigate the new economic shifts that will take place in the next few decades. One piece of advice we give is to get yourself a financial advisor or consultant. These professionals are equipped with the necessary understanding of wealth transfers and wealth management, including trust funds and taxes. By partnering with a knowledgeable financial advisor, you would feel safer and more confident in managing the wealth that will be passed to you or your children. Number 2. Open up financial conversations in the family. While it may be a sensitive topic, it's a necessary conversation in any family. You, your parents, and your family need to talk about your financial plans and goals to make the transition smoother for everybody. Disclosure of interests is important in the family, especially when there's a trend of boomers not wanting to pass all of their wealth to their adult children, but instead use that wealth for their retirement and grandkids. This is another area in which a financial advisor could help discuss the financial plans of the adult members of the family and hopefully come to a conclusion everyone would agree to. While these sorts of conversations are easier said than done and often end unresolved, it's worth talking and conflicting about it now than later when the wealth holder passes on. Number 3. Plan a business. If you're sure to receive wealth, then you're about to receive good capital for a startup business. If you're not entitled to a sort of wealth, then you should still consider starting a business. Why? Because if you're a business owner, technology savvy, and sell products and services via an online marketplace, you're still going to be on the receiving end of that wealth, as people would still spend the money they receive. Plus, once people have started to receive more money than they used to, inflation would be on your side to raise your prices on products and services you provide, and people won't think too much of it since they can already afford those anyway. The world is divided into consumers and creators. While consumers receive and spend money, creators earn and profit from them. Which side will you choose to be on? Number 4. Invest. Despite high inflation rates, a recession will soon take place, and while many investments will drop in value, this would also be a great time for you to buy the same stocks at a discount. You can invest part of the wealth that you will receive in long-term stocks and hedge it in some bonds, gold, and crypto. Diversifying your portfolio is a proven and tested strategy. Even if you're not to receive wealth in the coming years, that shouldn't stop you from investing your money and creating your own first-generational wealth by taking advantage of the coming wealth transfer. Sure, inflations, recessions, and wealth transfers can be a pain in the neck for many people, but if you're smart and quick enough, you will find yourself smoothly sailing through the perilous storms of the global economy. What are you doing to prepare for the coming great wealth transfer? Have you already set sail toward your goals? Tell us in the comments, and be sure to like and subscribe to the channel for more awesome and educational videos here on Luxo-Life. Until next time.